Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another one of our Fatherhood series from our Compadre y Compadre program here at the Children's Shelter. We're very excited to continue this series. This is the second session, and we're doing a total of 7 sessions. And we're really great and very honored to have Guillermo Trejo joining us today. Mr. Guillermo. As always, we are very excited to provide these sessions. We finished last month with our Mommy and Baby series, and we're continuing again for these next 6 weeks with our Fatherhood series. And before we get started, I wanted to thank everybody out there who is always continuously supporting the Children's Shelter, especially those of you who supported us through our March It's a Match campaign. It just was a great success, and we're really excited to keep going, to get this work going, keep this work going in the community. And we're very grateful for the support that we have from our community members. But so let's get back to the Fatherhood series. Guillermo Trejo, he is one of our Compadre y Compadre educators. Am I correct?
Yes. Thank you for allowing me to be here, for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Guillermo Trejo. I work for the Children's Shelter, the Family Strengthening Department in the Compadre program. And what I specifically do is I'm the lead mentor coordinator. And after they complete our Fatherhood series, they have an opportunity to go ahead and continue that and volunteer what we call our mentor program. Our mentor program we use a curriculum that's called Abriendo las Puertas, Opening Doors curriculum. It is an evidence-based curriculum, and it consists of 9 weeks, which is 9 sessions, and the 10th session, they graduate. So we talk about how to not only advocate for their children, these gentlemen can advocate for the children in school, which is a very important aspect and dynamic, but they also learn character building, leadership building, and overall to create a support system for dads, specifically for dads. And we also focus on dads mentoring other dads. We also add that support system by they also learning how to volunteer service in the community and also within the children's shelter. So I've been here going on 8.5 years now, and it's been really flourishing. And you can see these dads feel very supportive in the mentor program.
That's really great. I was able to pre-COVID, when you guys were doing the in-house sessions and the graduation, I was able to attend one of the sessions, and I kind of just sat in, just on the down low, and just kind of joined some of the dads on the tables, and just got to watch the excitement, the positivity.
Yes, it's a sense of accomplishment for them to graduate with their fellow classmates, because they build a connection through these 14 weeks, 14 sessions, because they really find out they're all going through similar, and they end up bonding and really understanding the dynamics of each other. And it really is a sense of community that they build. And a lot of times they want to continue in the mentor program, and they build an everlasting relationship. A lot of our clients keep contact with each other through the outgoing of the process. So I really enjoyed to see how dads flourish.
That's really great. And there's another graduation next week, right?
Yes, another graduation that is coming up. It's coming up next Tuesday. It'll be a drive-through, of course, for safety reasons. And it is April 13th. It starts at 5:30. And our guys we're gonna go ahead and cheer them on as they pass through a drive-through. We have some gifts for them, and they're looking forward to it. And we're looking forward to it also to celebrate with them.
That's awesome. That's really great. Yeah, that graduation, it is a beautiful thing. I'm glad that I was able to witness that one time, and I'll definitely be there next Tuesday and to support those upcoming graduate dads that finish the program. So you're going to be doing the second session, right?
Yes.
And what's the title of our second session today?
The title of our second session is in the Fatherhood series is called Fathering with Guidance: Discipline versus Punishment. What is the difference between discipline and punishment?
Okay.
Which is a very important topic, because sometimes they get a little confusing or a little skewed, and so they get blended in, so to speak. And here we help them identify the difference between discipline and punishment and how it plays a role. And as a matter of fact, that this part of discipline that I'm going to go through in just a general terms, this is actually part of our curriculum, a lesson that we teach about the difference between discipline and punishment and how they interact with the family system.
Good, good. And so these sessions, I just wanted to put out a little information. They're like little compressed sessions of what you actually do within the actual program. Obviously, these classes are a little bit
Yes.
lengthier, right? And so these are just topics that we're touching up that that are, again, part of the curriculum that Compadre and Compadre provides for the fatherhood.
Yes, our curriculum, each session is about 2 hours long. So this is just a surface picture, so to speak, of what we teach. So if anyone is interested, they will definitely show the information at the end that they can contact and get the full scope of how to implement discipline versus punishment and how it affects the way they father.
All right, great. So, well, let's get started. I'll let you take the helm there and yeah, just share with us this great
So
information.
that fatherhood with guidance and versus discipline. So in this aspect is understanding what is the discipline versus punishment. So in order to do that, we need to understand how the nurturing family is and how it's designed, and basically we're going to look at from the focal point of teamwork. So family teamwork. And one important question that I ask them is, what is the most important team that you'll ever have? And when they discover that it's your family, and I use it in the framework of teamwork as in sports. So in other words, family teamwork is a collaborative effort from a group of family members with a common goal. So they want to, rather it can be a completed task or they want to have a family goal. And so this system, this family team is all the brothers and sisters. And so no matter what the makeup of the dynamic family is, the family is the team. So each person in the family they play a unique, important role in the structure of this family system. So each individual, we help the dads to understand each individual of their family has certain strengths, have certain traits, personalities that contribute to the success of this family team. So, and just like the sports, it functions the same way. Everyone has their function. Each family member has their function. A firstborn, secondborn, thirdborn, mom, dad, even uncle, aunt, grandmother, grandfather. So each play an important role. So understanding by and accepting that each family member has a unique role, and that uniqueness is actually what creates the foundation and balance of that family team. So, where do we start? We start by asking ourselves a simple question: what is discipline? So, discipline derives from the word disciple. It means to teach, to instruct, to educate, to train, even to school. So, and it's important to understand what do you mean that each part of the discipline to teach. It means basically acquiring a knowledge or skill. So in discipline, when we instruct, when a dad instructs, it means it implies the manner of I'm giving them this information so my child has an opportunity to learn. My family members have an opportunity to learn. When I educate and discipline, that means to give intellectual, social instruction, moral instruction, especially to a child. And that's what it means to educate. Now, when you discipline by means of training, that implies training in habits and order of precision to a disciplined mind to understand how to execute. For example, I'm going to train my child the correct way to tie a trash bag. So that way, when they take it out, it doesn't spill over. How to put dishes in a dishwasher. So that's what it applies to a habit of order of precision. Now, when I discipline to school, it implies training of disciplinary, especially I want my child to master. So I want them to master a special skill. I want them to master how to help me take the chains off of a bicycle and how to put it back on. So discipline meaning to teach. what is it that I want my child to acquire the knowledge? And there's different ways of discipline. And it's not to be confused with a lot of our dads commonly understand punishment and discipline meaning to be the same. So, which in fact, it means very different. So, in the world of fatherhood, what does punishment mean? Punishment means of the act of making whatever was wrongdoing to me. In other words, it is a penalty. I'm going to impose a penalty for causing a wrongdoing to me. So now the penalty in punishment means to cause suffering, pain, as retribution for me. So since you wronged me, I must cause you pain and suffering. I must inflict on the offender uh, judicial procedures. So in fact, a good question is to ask yourself as a dad, when we ask our dads, do I want my child to believe that I'm going to cause them pain and suffering as retribution to me? And a lot of our dads like, oh, no, no. So just understand that when you say I'm going to punish my child, we are in fact saying I'm going to cause pain and suffering as retribution to me. So how many of you would like to actually discipline, meaning to teach? And like, oh no, that sounds a lot better. So it's understanding the importance, the difference of punishment and the difference of discipline. But the other thing that we need to be aware of is what is the consequence? Consequence and what it means is, and it relates to both discipline and punishment. Is consequence has to do with what is the end result? What is the end result in particular of an action or set of conditions? So what is the outcome of something that occurred earlier? So consequence is regardless is either it's positive or negative. It's the end result. So the consequence. So and consequence is actually very, very important to have in understanding how the relationship between the difference between uh, punishment and discipline. So, in essence, go ahead and move right here. Understanding the process of discipline. In order to understand the process of discipline, is we need to first understand the dynamics of how it is applied to the family system is very similar to sports. Uh, the first one is goal. What is the goal? What is the goal? What is the end result that we want to achieve? What is the end result? For example, our goal in basketball, the goal is to put the ball in the hoop as many times as possible within given a certain time limit. That is the goal. So when everyone in the family understands the goal, we're going to cook a meal together. We're going to clean the house together, whatever the case may be. What is the goal? The second thing that is important to understand is the rules. What are the rules of what is about to happen? But here's the thing, the rules must be clear. The rules must be clear, and everyone in the family must understand them. And so if there are no rules or what one is not explained clearly, then it's very difficult for children to understand what's expected of them. So having clear rules that everyone can understand. And also now the third one is encouraging teamwork. We need to encourage teamwork. Very simple is we need to acknowledge the desired behavior. We acknowledge what is it that we want our children to do. We acknowledge when they actually do it, when they actually execute it. For example, in basketball, every time they make a shot, a three-pointer, and they were fouled, they have a chance to also shoot two hoops and to get two additional points. So when that is actually completed, high five, they give praise. But understanding that praise has to have meaning with the behavior. So we always encourage the desired behavior. And in some instances, we also need to discourage the misbehavior. And we discourage the misbehavior, but not necessarily given the attention to discourage behavior, but we also redirect the undesired behavior by giving warnings. Hey, remember, I just want to let you know this is the rules. I want to let you know this is what's going on. So, and by doing discouraging behavior, that's what we talked about earlier is the consequence. The consequence has to be given. The penalty has to be given in conjunction with the undesired behavior. A warning, a reminder. Uh, we also can give the consequence by saying, hey, if you choose to do this behavior, then the consequence is this is what you choose. So it's very, very important to have that clear understanding of what is the goal. If I have an understanding of what is the goal, these are the rules. I'm always encouraged the desired behavior. I encourage the teamwork. So we also know studies show is when you actually give attention to the desired behavior of your child, they're more likely to repeat it. So consequence, one important factor of consequence is we need to follow through with consequence. We always need to follow rule with the penalty. And the penalty can come in many different forms. So the penalty must meet the standard of the consequence, but it also, dads and the parents need to follow through with the consequence. Once we don't follow through with the consequence, then the consequence has no meaning. And therefore, it's going to start going up. The discouraged behavior, the emotional, the encouraged teamwork is not going to really have any meaning. The rules are not going to have any meaning, and they're going to lose sight of the goal. So in this next one, what is the act of discipline? It's kind of like a secret, but at the same time, it's not a secret. So the act of discipline, what does that mean? It means giving your child the experience of being disciplined. So it's a little bit more in depth of what does that look like. It's more of the understanding of what is the experience of the act of giving my child discipline. And if you follow this specific act, it will make things so much easier. So the first one is always teach. Always teach your child what you want them to do. Focus and encourage on what you want them to do. And we don't focus and not what you don't want them to do. So always focus and teach them what you want them to do. We don't put a lot of emphasis on teaching them what we don't want them to do. And when we do that, that discipline has a lot of meaning to it. It carries a lot of weight with the child. But what makes this complete, what makes this circle of discipline complete is we do this by using no negative words. Stop, no, don't, can't, quit. Using no negative words. So we're going to teach them. In other words, if a child, here's a quick example. If a child is kicking the coffee table in the living room, they're constantly kicking. So what is it that you want to teach your child? The behavior is kicking. So when we ask our dads, what is it that you want to teach your child? They're kicking. Using no negative words. And commonly our dads say, stop kicking the coffee table and kick something else. Okay, so stop is a negative word. They're like, so it really changes their brain. It really makes them think as they were sharing their experience because they tried it for a whole week is using no negative words. So focus on the behavior. Your child is kicking the coffee table, so the behavior is kicking. So in essence, it's like this. Always teach your child what you want them to do. Son, when we kick, we only kick the kickball and the soccer ball outside. The coffee table is used for homework, for drawing, or for mom and dad drinking their coffee and putting it on the coffee table. That's what the coffee table is used for. So if we're going to kick, we only kick the soccer ball and the kickball when we're outside. And I asked my dads, so what did you understand that what you wanted to do with the kicking? Did I use any negative words? Stop, no, don't, can't, quit. No, this is the act of discipline by focusing on what you want them to do, not what you don't want them to do. Children are going to kick. It's inevitable. All children kick. So teaching them what you want them to do with kicking. And another quick example is my child running across the street into the street, which is a very big concern for our dad. So what is it that you want them to learn about running in the street? Children are going to run in the street. It's inevitable. So teach them what you want them to learn about running in the street. So how do we do it? Always teach your child what you want them to do. Sweetheart, son, when you run in the street, we only run in the street holding dad's hand. We'll run with dad's, only holding dad's hand. We run into the street, get the ball, whatever, and we run back with dad to the sidewalk, back onto the yard. So you taught them what you wanted them to do. They're going to run in the street, but we want to teach them we only run in the street holding dad's hand. We didn't use any negative words, and we didn't focus on what then not to do. So that's what it means about the act of discipline. And so when children learn the act of discipline, what is the conclusion of discipline versus punishment? It's this real famous saying is with appropriate and consistent teaching of discipline, your child will learn about consequences and taking what every dad, every parent wants their child to do is take responsibility from their own behavior, and your child will learn self-control, which every parent, every dad wants their child to take ownership of their behavior and learn self-control. And when we understand the difference between discipline, punishment, and how to incorporate consequence by teaching them what we want them to do and not focus on what we don't want them to do, but by using positive words, it will give them the experience and the act of discipline. So that's why it's this little lesson is we definitely go into depth, more into depth in the compadre program, in the fatherhood program. We definitely we do go more in depth in what it means, their experiences, and we also role play on getting them to learn. And we do a little activity which really challenges their brain. And a lot of our dads are like, wow, this really helped me to stop and think before I just, say something that is not relevant to try to teach my child. So that for their homework for the week, they actually stop, pause, and think using no negative words. And a lot of them are like, man, that was challenging, but it really made me think. But my child responded to me differently than what I'm used to is they're more receptive to listening to dad. So that's one of the many things that the experience that we give them here at the compadre program and the parenting program.
That's great. Yeah, thank you so much, Guillermo. I think a lot of these things sometimes we think they're easier said than done, but when it comes to time to actually
Yes.
practice a lot of these steps, it does take effort, and I love what you mentioned earlier. I can't quote exactly verbatim to what you said, but the idea of discipline is to learn something, right? And I know that we always hear that practice makes perfect, but I think putting an effort into something and then just how you put that effort into teaching somebody to do something plays a big role in it. And you broke that down, even like you said, from stop from negating words or negating the what you don't want them to do. And like I said, that's easy. I learned a lot of those things too. I mean, I grew up with a niece and nephew, and I played a role when they were really, really young. And it was a challenge, and getting them to understand what it is that you would like them to do instead of what you don't want them to do. And I think that's
Yes.
really, really great. Thank you for distinguishing that, and again for putting this information together. For those of you
Yes.
out there who are interested, fathers, brothers, sons, uncles, maybe you have a friend, a neighbor, somebody who could use a lot of this information or could really use being part of this program. having children in a family can be very challenging, especially through these times that we're going through COVID with a lot of uncertainties, from job, from people having to move or, just all of our worlds, right? Like being a little unstable this last year, more so than ever, Compadre does provide this great program. So if you know anybody out there, I love that quote on the screen, give your child the best gift, a caring, loving father. That's
Yes.
fantastic. And again, for our viewers, the information is right on the screen, DC Garcia at chshel.org, or you can call 210-212-2559, and you'll get all the information that you need, and they will put you in contact with somebody from our Compadre program. And yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Guillermo.
Welcome. And adding on to that, we always have classes coming up. So when they call Daisy Garcia, if she doesn't answer, that please leave a message. She will get back to you, and she will accommodate and helping you find when the best time class to start with. And I'm included in teaching, so I always look forward to men coming to the program.
Great. And as you guys all know, if you weren't watching this live, this stays on our feed and this will get reposted again. And again, if you know anybody, please tag them or share this Facebook live video with others, and please let us get this information out there. Again, that's what we are here for. We're here to provide these family of services to our community. And again, I'm very grateful to have had you on here today, Guillermo. And I hope that will you be doing the next session as well, or?
It's going to be my coworker, other educator, Osvaldo, and then I'll be doing the one after that.
Okay, so we'll see you back in a couple of weeks.
Yes.
Awesome. So again, my name is Ernesto Olivo. I am the social media and art and activities coordinator at the Children's Shelter. And Guillermo Trejo, thank you again for being here with us. And again, to all our supporters out there, we cannot do this work without you. We are very grateful to have you and your support and your continued support as always. And so we will be back again next Thursday, but we will see you, Guillermo, in 2 weeks.
Yes, sir. Yes.
All right.
Thank you. I appreciate it for being here.
Appreciate that.